All right, we're live. It's the Android Headline Show. Let's see, we're on episode 97. Today is Thursday, February 26th. Tonight, it's all about Mobile World Congress 2015. My name is Jeremiah. I'm joined tonight by Nick and Alex from the site. You guys want to say what's up?
What's up, everybody?
How's it going, guys?
It's good. It's good. I should click my little box here so the camera is not stuck on me. But yeah, man, I'm excited. MWC officially kicks off Monday. It runs the 2nd through the 5th. But we got a whole bunch of announcements and new cool stuff coming on Sunday, kind of all at once. So that'll be fun. Alex, you're going to be there live covering it. Before we jump into some of the stuff that we're expecting to see, what are you guys excited about most from MWC this year?
I don't know. I was excited about that the LG Watch Urbane, but now that's not running Android Wear. I'm not as excited for it. I'm expecting it to run real West though, but it doesn't sound like it does. Other than that, I'm pretty much excited for the M9 and the S6. See if it really does look just like the iPhone 6.
Well, if there's the leaked picture of the bottom of the device looks almost identical to the iPhone 6, so that was fun. We'll see. What about you, Nick? What are you excited about, man?
I think originally it was between the S6 and the M9. Although, given the leaks now, I'm leaning more towards the S6. The M9 looks incredibly boring.
Oh, see, I'm the exact opposite. I'm stoked on the M9, and I could care less about the S6. So
They
that's
both
cool.
look kind of boring, but I mean, what does HTC really need to do? Add a bigger camera. As long as they
See,
do that.
for me, that screen, the design of the screen on HTC's phone kills it for me. The bezels are so ridiculous. I'm like, come on, you guys could have fixed this the last time around, much less this time. Like, it just feels like they haven't even tried with it. Because you still got the power button on top, you still have the huge bezels, and now they're like, oh, we'll fix the power button thing by putting a software power button here. Oh, that's a great idea.
Power button's on the side now.
Is it?
It's on the same side as the volume.
So why the heck do we have the soft power button?
I think that one is actually a fake. Because
I hope so.
Screenshot doesn't line up like it does on the other ones. You know how they paste the screenshot on the actual the mock-up or whatever. It doesn't line up with the bezels.
I try hard not to make assumptions based on these leaks, but it's very hard not to when you get something that authentic looking.
I'm also looking forward to the HTC smartwatch that's supposed to be coming again.
Yes, hopefully that doesn't have all the bezels we think too.
Did you see that picture? I think Corey had reshared it.
Yes, that picture is amazing.
You just have speakers and then soft keys. That's the whole watch.
It's very good.
Well, Alex, man, kick us off. Let's see. First up on the agenda here, we got the Galaxy S6 and the S6 Edge, which we saw leak side by side today. Talk to us about those a little bit.
If we saw the S6 and the Edge leak side by side, we've seen them leak individually. We've seen I think Sprint, AT&T, and T-Mobile. I don't think Verizon has yet. Basically confirmed that they're going to be carrying the S6, but the picture in the image looks like it's the Edge, just from the glow from their color. Like AT&T's had a blue glow, etc. I think everybody said this spring. I know AT&T did. I'm not sure about the other two. The S6, we've seen a lot more leaks this year than we normally do. I don't know if that's due to the shakeup with everybody at Samsung, based after last year's disappointing is what they call it. I don't think it's disappointing a year. So right now it looks a lot like the iPhone 6. I hope it doesn't, because we've gone through that before with Samsung.
And the first I guess leak yesterday or day before from T-Mobile with the what was the 6 appeal, that tagline, that awful tagline.
Oh yeah, that was like Sunday.
It didn't look like Sunday night. Okay, yeah, that did not look like an iPhone to me. That looked more like the Edge. But then we saw today the bottom of the device, and it looks like style-wise, it looks just like an iPhone 6.
Yeah, that one looks like it's gonna be the regular one, because if you look, it looks just like bottom of a regular device. It doesn't have like the edge part, on the side. Like, you can visually see that on the Note 4 Edge when you look at just like the bottom or just the top of that device. So that's why I think that's just the regular S6. So I guess that kind of confirms that we're getting both.
Yeah. Well, and that's cool. The Edge stuff has never really done anything for me because I haven't seen like a compelling use case for it. But if Samsung can make it interesting, make it something that is useful, sounds good to me.
Yeah, I used the Note Edge last fall. I think it was like November-ish, and it was a cool idea. It needed more work. Obviously, it's a first-generation product, so you kind of expect that. But I mean, it was actually really cool. Like all the different features it could do. I'm just excited to see what they do with it this time around, a few months later. Especially if they actually do 2 edges, like they said like the rumor said they were going to do.
Yeah.
I'm also wondering how that's gonna fit in the hand, because the edge was a little bit, I don't know if it's like hard or just different compared to the Note 4 because it's a little bit wider. But yeah, it was a little awkward.
Yeah, to say the least. So what, Nick, I know you said you were most excited about the S6. What excites you about it?
I think the only reason I'm excited about the S6, where I have not been for the S5 and the Note 4, is just simply because of all the stuff that has been said about Samsung changing things up. Now they're finally going with a metal body. Now they're finally going with, maybe a slimmer OS. It looks like they're going to make things more modular. I've seen theme support get put in there. That started with the A3 and the A7, I think, started the theme stuff. So it feels to me like they're moving more towards a lighter, more customizable version of Android rather than the super heavy, gaudy garbage that they've been putting out for years. And I think, given Samsung's stance in the market, yeah, they've dropped a lot in market share, but they are still the winner, just the market leader by far when it comes to Android stuff. Yeah. And I really, really want to see them finally get this crap right, because if they do, it means a lot. So I don't know that I would ever buy one, just because Samsung has burned me so much in the past, but I don't know. I could change my mind. They've been really good about updates lately. They've been really good about a lot of things. They finally fixed their crappy cameras. So, I don't know. We're on the way. It's looking good.
Yeah, and for me, TouchWiz is the reason that I'm still not excited. I mean, their hardware is fine. Their hardware has been decent. The camera on the Note 4 is phenomenal. But we saw some leaked screenshots. And they didn't look like it was anything different. Didn't look like it was pared down, or they're still heavily skinning it. Now there is some theme support. We did see that, so that's a step in the right direction. But if the OS is still bloated with all these extra features and some of that is what they sell on, that's just not for me. HTC's done a really good job with Sense. And it looks like they've done a really good job with Sense 7 running on top of Lollipop. So if Samsung could come anywhere close to that, if the OS is just fast and not laggy, that's a huge step forward, and that would go at least a little ways towards changing my opinion a little bit. But
yeah, given how laggy TouchWiz has always been, no matter what kind of hardware it runs on, I am not holding my breath for that at all.
And if you don't believe that it's laggy, just open up the Gallery app.
Yep. Yep.
And start your stopwatch.
It's sad. Especially when you have like a Snapdragon 805 in there.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. So then
moving on to
the other big one is
M9.
M9, right?
Yeah, this one's coming out Sunday as well. Basically, you know, we just keep seeing more and more leaks that all look the same. It looks like it's going to be the M8, but with it looks like a bigger camera, more like squarish. At least the hole is more squarish. No dual camera this time. It looks like the flash might be on the other side because I think it was on the right on the M8 and it's on the left on the M9. At least some of the ones that we're seeing. Looks like it's still a 5-inch. I've been hearing 1080p, but I've also heard Quad HD. Not sure which one it's going to be. I hope it's 1080p.
Yeah, for real. At 5 inches?
Yeah, because the Droid Turbo is 5.2 at 2K, and it's nice, but it's kind of overkill.
Yeah.
Still aluminum body, boom sound speakers, the HTC black bar, which is not useless because that's where all the drivers are for the boom sound speakers. And other than that, is it Sense 7 or Sense 8? I think it's 7, isn't it? Because I think
7,
6,
yeah.
I think 6 came on the M8.
The boom sound speakers are supposed to be better too, because they put that tweet out beginning of this week saying the bigger drivers effectively is what they were saying without directly saying that.
More boom.
Yeah, more boom. Hopefully that doesn't mean different EQ.
I don't know. Let's see.
I'm very glad that I was wrong about the power button, because after you said that, I went and looked at the renders, and I was like, oh, crap, you're right. For some reason, I thought it was a SIM tray on the right side. I don't know why.
That's usually on the left side.
I think I just assumed by seeing that, plus the software power button, I'm like, come on,
Yep, and this is, if HTC can get the camera right, this could be... Now, we said this about the M7, though, too. Like, it could just be a killer device that really gives Samsung a run for their money. But that didn't happen. The M8 was a little bit of a disappointment because they kept the ultra pixel camera, and that just didn't pan out. But if they, it's got a decent camera sensor in it. Sense 7, I highly doubt they're going to step backwards. Sense 6 is really good for a OEM skin. So I'm stoked on this. I'm also excited that rumors are saying they kept the 1080p screen. There's no reason to step up to a 2K display and suffer those performance issues.
Well, it's not so much
on the G3
performance. It's not so much performance, especially if they go with the 805 or 810. It's more battery life because they don't put in a huge battery. It's usually like 23, 26, 2800 milliamps. So it's not like a 3000 or 3900 like the Droid Turbo. That's the bigger issue for me. And there goes the Moto voice.
Yep, there it is. There it is. But I read a thing on Phone Arena, I think, last week. They modded a G3 to step the screen down to a 1080p resolution. And the battery life was almost the same, but performance was significantly better.
Yeah, because what they've done with the G3 is they've underclocked it a bit more than you would get on like the S5 or the M8 from last year. So that's why you're seeing the same battery life, but with lower performance.
Yep.
So now that if they put it on 1080p, they can up the clock a bit more, so you get better performance and same battery.
Yeah, I think all the other Quad HD phones are the Snapdragon 805, right? The Droid Turbo is an 805, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the only one that's not an 805.
Yeah.
The G3 is still the 801, so you're talking...
Well, unless you go into China, because MX4 is or 4 Pro is basically 2K, but it's Exynos. No, I think that was a MediaTek.
I reviewed it and I can't even remember. I think it's a MediaTek, yeah. I forgot. No, I think the MX4 is a MediaTek. The Pro, I think, is an Exynos. I think you're right the first time.
I know one of the phones they went to for them to
we can look it up later.
MediaTek. But yeah,
Yeah, one of them's a
basically
MediaTek, one's an
everything.
Exynos. I think you got it in the right order.
But basically, yeah, every Quad HD has been, you know, Snapdragon 805. Now we have the 810, which we've heard are having issues with the G Flex 2. I don't know what can be done software-wise or what there, but we'll see soon because we should be getting one here pretty soon.
Yep, we'll be
Do
getting a
review on.
couple of other 810
And
phones too.
And that's not even a 2K or Quad HD. That's just 1080p.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm like you said, Jeremiah, with the camera. I think though that they're going to get it right this time because they went with a different sensor. They're going with that Toshiba 20 megapixel one. It looks like that's supposed to have OIS, which was one of the biggest problems in the M8. You know, and then of course the resolution and all that stuff aside, and then that that sensor is supposed to have proprietary pixel format and all that. So it's not just a standard, I guess, 20 megapixel sensor, if you can call that a standard thing. But it's supposed to be something a little bit different, sort of like what they've done in the past with their sensors.
The only thing I'm worried about with that Toshiba sensor is we haven't really seen it in a phone that's been sold, or at least sold widely. I was hoping it would be Sony sensor, because that we've seen in the Z1s, 2 to 3, the Dre Turbo. I think there's another, the MX4 4 Pro have that from Mizu. So that we know is a great camera, no matter who's using it, what software it's with, or whatever. With Toshiba, don't really have any experience as to how good it is. I'm sure it's pretty good because it's a 20 megapixel camera, OAS, all that other good stuff, but kind of hard to tell without actually, being able to use it.
Yeah.
Well, and we'll find out here in a couple of days. So, cool. Well, yeah, those are two big flagships coming that we're looking forward to. Nick, what's up with the LG Watch Urbane?
So the Urbane is interesting. The original Urbane that they announced, I think a week ago or so, looks like it's supposed to be an Android Wear watch. It's effectively a more, I guess, chic or whatever the heck you want to call that, G-Watch R. So whereas the G-Watch R is a sporty thing, this is like an all-metal, brushed metal kind of thing. You have the black leather band. It looks more like something you would wear with a suit or along that lines, maybe more directly competing with the Moto 360. And then the Android Wear thing, it's weird because when it was first announced, I was pretty sure they said Android Wear, but then as I'm looking at other articles about it, it doesn't necessarily mention it, so that may be up in the air. I'm not sure. The internals of it are the same as everything else, Snapdragon 400, 512 megs of RAM. It has a 410 milliamp hour battery, which is a little bit bigger than some of the other ones out there. So that's a positive. That means you'll probably get over a day easy on it, maybe two, especially since it's an OLED. So you're going to get that better battery life with it being always on. The other one that they announced just today is the Urbane 4G LTE. So this is sort of a take on the smartwatch thing that Samsung did with the Gear S. So this thing has the LTE modem built in. It has a little mini SIM card you can stick in and all that. It's got a little bit more RAM, so you got a gig of RAM versus 512. It does not run Android Wear. It runs a different LG platform. They just call it their wearable platform operating system. We're assuming that's WebOS because they showed, I think they're the ones that showed off a WebOS watch at CES, right, Alex?
Yeah, it's with Audi.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So more than likely this is WebOS. I don't really see any reason why they would change that because that's probably going to be their best bet outside of an Android Wear platform. You have a bigger battery as well, 700 versus the 410 in the other one. It's pretty much the same, the POLED display. So we have a really interesting thing there. They're going to have GPS on board. So basically, just like the Gear S, this is going to be a standalone watch. You will not need to pair it with your phone. It'll do its own thing. It's got a whole bunch of different stuff on there, fitness coaches. Who knows how the app ecosystem is going to go, because again, it's not Android Wear. So you're going to have probably their own app store if they're going to do that sort of thing. Again, just like how Samsung has with their platform. So this will be LG's first, I guess, standalone little wearable watch.
So 2 watches, I guess, is what we're looking at from LG. The
Yep.
I think it's more of just one watch, but in Wi-Fi and LTE, or maybe Bluetooth and LTE versions.
some of the renders or some of the like the not the renders, but the like press shots that came out, the 2 watches look different, and it might just be me.
They are different. Nope, they're different.
Okay.
So I forgot about that. Thank you. The Android Wear one only has the one button on the side, which makes sense because Android Wear doesn't really support buttons of any kind. It's just sort of an on-off for the screen. The LTE version has 3. I don't know what the other ones do, but obviously they serve different functions. And I'm not sure again how their specific platform works in comparison with Android Wear. If it's going to be same thing where cover the screen, turn the screen off kind of thing, or if it's going to be maybe one button does some kind of voice activation thing. Who knows? But yeah, and then the overall style of it is slightly different too. If you look at them from the top, they look kind of similar, but I think from the side, you have a little bit of different angles. The LTE version has the, what do you call that thing around the watch face? The chronograph, is that the right term? You know what I'm talking about, with the numbers that are kind of etched into the face? Just like the G-Watch R has.
Yeah, the chronograph is the other 3 little circles on the watch face that do
That's what
different
that is.
things.
Okay, well they all have that too, but you know what I'm talking about. The G-Watch R around the face has the 1 through 60 kind of thing on there.
Yep.
Like a diver's watch, yeah.
Yes, exactly. So it's, I guess, kind of a mix between the, I guess, more luxurious type and the sporty type, but the way they did it doesn't look like a sporty watch. Whereas the regular
it's really
Urbane does
good
not
looking.
have that. Yeah.
Both of these look really good. I'm just kind of curious to see if it's not WebOS, what the LTE version is running on, and if the regular Watch Urbane is still running Android Wear. The other one is supposed to be compatible, fully compatible with Android and Android Wear functionality, so that's not an issue. But that'll be interesting. They've kind of given us a lot of information about it, but they haven't exactly told us everything. So there are a couple of important details that we're going to find out when they officially announce these things.
Yep. Yeah.
Or unveil them, so to speak.
Bit for
They've
the
already
show.
been announced. Yep.
Yep. They announced it so they can be first, but they won't tell you everything.
Yep.
Yeah, I like it. Little teaser for you. Here's what we got coming.
And then, they don't have any phones or tablets, or it's not like they're announcing the G4 or a new G Pro or anything. So
yeah, the G Pro is actually been merged into the regular G line, so no more G Pro.
I can always hope that they bring that back. G Pro is a great phone.
It looks like they're sticking with G Flex and the G as their flagships now, instead of doing like Samsung having a phablet and a regular smartphone. They're doing a regular one and then a curvy one, or flexible.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
cool.
glad they made the Flex more of a mainstream thing.
Yeah,
It's a nice product.
Yeah.
even though
Yeah,
it's
it is.
getting bad reviews.
Well, so did the first one. They didn't quite get it right with the second one either.
Yeah.
And then the Sony stuff too, the Xperia Z4 Tablet.
Yes, yeah. So I know maybe a month or two ago we weren't 100% expecting the Z4 phone to be there, but I think we kind of figured it would be given Sony's recent 6-month refresh period and the fact that that's pretty much the last show for a while. It looks like the phone will probably not be there. However, the tablet will be there. So Sony teased that today. They had a little cropped picture of somebody holding a very thin, large device, which some people joked would be the Z4 Ultra, but more than likely this is the tablet we're looking at. This thing's supposed to have a 2K display, which is great because all of Sony's tablets up to this point have had 1080p displays, and on a 10-inch device, 1080p starts to look a little fuzzy. So 2K will be a nice bump in resolution for that. So it's basically, that's the same level as an iPad, right? The 2560 by 1600.
I think it's a little higher.
Yeah,
I think iPad is like
close
2048 by 1536. It's the
Yeah,
same
it's
as
in the
the
ballpark.
Nexus 9. Exactly the same as the Nexus 9, actually.
Yep. So it should be very nice. Sony's got pretty good LCD display stuff. So
Now,
I expect that to be great. Well, yeah, now, whatever. Before is a different story, but they've been
those
pretty good
viewing
for a while
angles.
here. Yeah, viewing angles are always a problem on the cheaper LCDs too. So that's
So basically, Sony's not having a press conference, and this is what they've told me: is there's no press conference, and they're not announcing anything big. Is what they said. So I'm guessing no flagships. So I'm not sure about the Z4 tablet. I mean, you would think that would be a flagship since it's a Z4 tablet. It's not like they do mid-range tablets. But we also have I think it's the M4 Aqua. Xperia M4 Aqua is going to be there. It's a mid-range one. But we will be meeting with them on Monday, see what they have. So I'm really excited for the Z4 tablet, actually.
Yeah. And this also makes me think that maybe Sony is moving to a 12-month release cycle on their flagship phones. We won't see the Z4 until the spring. So we're going to get off this crazy every 6 month flagship release.
I'm thinking they're going to do it at IFA again, unless they decide to do their own event, which I'm not sure, seeing as they are thinking about selling their mobile unit. So they might just wait till IFA. But at least then they'll actually sell more Z3s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and the Z3 is an outstanding phone. So.
Yep, I have one.
Yeah, and I don't really want to go down that road too much because I might start crying a little bit. Sony selling their mobile division from the Z2 on, man, they're just outstanding phones.
The Z1 was pretty good too. Only issue I had was the display viewing angles, but for the most part, that didn't bother me.
Yeah, and even that was outside of the display was a decent phone. The bezels were kind of big, but
I'm actually taking the Z3 Compact with me. I'm not taking the Z3 because it doesn't work well in Spain. The T-Mobile version doesn't, and that's the only reason why it's not coming, unfortunately.
Yeah, but the Z3 Compact, same thing. Outrageous battery life.
It's even better than the Z3.
Yep.
Yeah. And I have a friend that's got the Compact too, and he does nothing but rave about the battery practically every day. Like, look how many days I got out of this charge, guys.
The Z3, like, by 8 p.m., I take it off to charge about 8 a.m. in the morning. By 8 p.m., it has like 75% left.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they finally nailed that down for sure.
It's better than the Droid Turbo, basically.
Yeah, which I was super impressed with too.
Yeah. So that'll be exciting. See what they actually announce, and get some one-on-one time with Sony there at MWC. The other stuff that we've got is not quite as exciting, but it's still going to be there. Huawei is going to announce probably some phones in the Honor line. We don't know exactly what, but we've heard that they're going to drop some new phones on us. As well as a new LTE-powered smartband and probably some other wearables. Not a whole lot of details on that stuff. The smartband they did announce in London, and so we're just assuming that they'll have that on display.
Well, basically what they did with the smartband is say, here's a smartband that works on our 4.5G network, and you'll see more at Mobile World Congress. That was basically it. So we don't know much about it, other than it works on their 4.5G network, which I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of talk about 5G next week.
Sure. Fantastic. And then the Lenovo and Motorola. So Lenovo's going to drop like 4 or 5 phones, it looks like. The phones we won't ever see here in the U.S. There's going to be a bunch of accessories and wearables that we're expecting to see as well. We don't have a lot of details on that stuff leaked out yet. the phones look really great, but I don't really care about going into a whole lot of detail because we're never going to see them. They're going to be pretty much only in China and other parts of Asia. So
yeah, I think right now it's still going to be like that, but I think in like a year, maybe 2 years, it's going to change with them owning Motorola now, because Motorola's back in China now. So I don't think it'll take Lenovo that long to get over here.
Yeah, and it takes them, it'll take them some time to ramp up manufacturing and get all that stuff switched over. Right now, they're still working off of what Google had, in Motorola's pipeline. We just saw an updated. You've actually got on your desk there behind you, on the table, the updated Moto E.
That's
LTE.
the press conference that they sent.
That's the greatest thing ever.
The best part is the scene right there. It's the same room that they had us in back in September for the Moto X, the Moto G, and the Moto 360. If you hold it up and then you got the door there, you got the welcome desk. It's so awesome.
That's some fantastic marketing right there. I really love that.
And way cheaper than flying in a bunch of people from all over the country and putting them in hotels and.
So this is the Moto E, $149 for the LTE. The 3G is going to be $119. It's actually available now. These trim, I guess is what you call it, they are removable. They sent us, well, the white one comes with it, obviously, but just sent us a blue and a red one. And then we have, if I can find it, we have the black, well, it's a clear case, but it has the black trim on it, which is really nice. Only thing is it's hard to take pictures of it because you get fingerprints all over the place.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this phone is really nice. I didn't get to use the original Moto E, but I did use both Moto Gs. I think it's 4.5 inches now. It's still lowercase q HD, but at 4.5 inches, does it really matter? You don't need 1080p or even 720p really that size, especially at $149.
Right, it'd be nice, but at that price point, you're willing to trade that off.
The camera has a whole lot of noise. I'm actually kind of shocked at that because the Moto G camera is actually better than the Moto X. The other thing I'm shocked at, this battery is bigger than the Moto X. It's a 2390 milliamp and the Moto X is 2300.
And what's the processor in that one?
410.
The 410, yep.
64-bit.
Okay.
It's got Lollipop on there, obviously. I haven't really used the speaker much. I haven't really used it that much because I've been getting ready to go to World Congress, but I will be taking this with me, to use it because it does work in Spain pretty well. I'm really impressed with it. I mean, it's $149. There's not a whole lot you can expect for that price, but there's a whole bunch of other phones that are much worse at that price.
And the fact that it has stock Lollipop with Moto features, that's a huge deal.
It does have Moto display too. It has
nice.
all the Moto X features except for Moto Voice. That's the only thing missing.
Yeah, see, and for me, that beats every Chinese phone that I reviewed in the last year at that price point, just because of the software.
And if you don't want LTE, if you just want 3G, $119. I mean, that's still a really decent price. If you want a bigger screen, you got the Moto G at $179. That's only $30 more. No LTE yet, which is kind of weird that the Moto E has LTE and the G doesn't. But we have seen that leak, so maybe that'll be coming soon.
So that the new Moto E, the $119 one with 3G, is that HSPA plus?
I'm not sure. They're just saying 3G. That one has a Snapdragon 200 inside. So I'm not too sure. I didn't really see much specs on that one.
That'd be interesting to see how a 200 performs. I've never used anything with that in there.
Me neither. I think I've only seen like 2 phones with it.
Yeah, our watches.
That might be pushing it. I don't know. Even the watches have a 400.
Yep.
I'm like,
well, we'll see. We'll see.
Well, the watch also costs more than the Moto E. About twice as much.
Quite a bit.
And there's still an element of like manufacturing and stuff there that with the watches that hasn't been ramped up quite as much as the phones yet. So
yeah, because even with the Moto E and Moto G, while they're selling it so low, they are still making a pretty decent profit. They haven't said like what percentage or anything, but they said they're making a pretty decent profit off of it. And those are their two most popular phones. Moto G probably more than the E, but it's a really popular phone. And the Moto G, I really like that thing.
Yep. It's nice to see the bottom line being pulled up like this. It really is, because now you can pretty much spend whatever you feel like on a phone, and you know that it's going to be fine. You may not get the best screen or the best camera, but you're going to have a phone that can pretty much run everything.
And here in the U.S., I think a lot more people are going to go to Motorola than, say, Meizu or Xiaomi or Huawei, ZTE, any of those guys, because they know Motorola. Motorola's been here forever, basically. And they know they're going to get updates because it is stock Android. They used to be owned by Google, but, well, Motorola is technically Chinese now. But you know that you're going to get stock Android, quick updates, and it's, you know, they have a US version, so it will work on T-Mobile and AT&T here. We did see a leak for a Boost Mobile version for Sprint users too, though. And with a lot of the Chinese phones, you don't get that.
Yep. So yeah, that's cool. Very cool. Well, real quick, that kind of wraps up some of the preview stuff for MWC. That's the big stuff that we're looking for. Is there anything else that came across that you guys noticed that I might have missed?
ZTE, I think they have one new device that they're bringing out. We'll be meeting with them on, I think, Tuesday, maybe Monday. See what they've got. They always have a lot of nice devices for prepaid, like the was it the Grand Max Plus, X Plus? Because I went for what's the first one? The Z Max. So it's the X Max Plus is the one I was thinking about. The Z Max for T-Mobile. That one's a really great phone. It's $250, but it's also like a 5.7-inch display. So I'd expect a few more of those from them. Can't even think of who else is going to be there.
Well, and there's so much stuff, man. Like, there's going to be all kinds of crazy stuff on the show floor. You know, like they will be cranking out news and announcements the whole time. So.
Alcatel has a press conference on Sunday. They've got a bunch of stuff, most likely. They always have a bunch of stuff, actually. Arcos is going to have a bunch of stuff. That's mostly going to be seen in Europe, though. Qualcomm has a press conference Monday morning, like 2:30 Eastern time in the morning.
Jeez.
Well, it's 8:30 Barcelona time. So another one that I'm actually really interested in is Gionee. They're a Chinese manufacturer that we haven't really reviewed any of their devices before, but they have a press conference on Monday at, well, it's actually 8 Eastern. So that one I'll be at there to see what they've got.
Nice.
Kyocera, I think they have probably some more of their Hydro phones. You know, the waterproof stuff. That's kind of rugged, but not quite as rugged as the Brigadier. Let's see, who else? I think that's about... Oh, Yez will be there with some Project Ara stuff. And Toshiba, most likely, as well.
Yeah.
And Cheetah Mobile actually has a bunch of new phones. One is a Snapdragon 810. For Cheetah Mobile, for those that don't know, they do the Clean Master, that app that, you know, cleans out the cache and all this stuff on your phone. So kind of surprised to see them making a phone. But they've got like 3 phones that they're announcing.
I'm kind of excited to see some of that, some of those Project Ara components too. See what comes out of that.
Definitely. Yeah. And then we also saw today, not to dive into it too much, that the Moto Maker for the Moto 360, right? Was that official?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, that's fantastic. And then they also have the what do they call it? The Unilink band or something like that. The band that they showed off originally with the watch, way back at the original announcement video.
I don't remember. But basically with Moto Maker, they're gonna allow you to choose, you know, the casing for your watch. So it can be the silver, the black, or the champagne gold, which is what we already have. Then you've got the leather straps that'll be in, I think right now it's the same colors as it's available in now. And then you'll also have the steel ones. But they did say they will be in 2 different sizes, so I guess there'll be like, you know, a smaller one for the ladies and a, you know, like a larger one for the guys. because I've heard a lot of ladies say it's kind of a big watch for them.
Yep.
But it doesn't seem like a big deal right now. I think it's going to be a bigger deal with the new Moto 360. More materials, more straps, more colors, more everything. It's just to get their feet wet right now.
Yep. Well, we've been rolling for a good little while, so I think we're going to wrap it up. We will be covering all the Motorola, all of the Mobile World Congress stuff, including Motorola, Lenovo, whatever they have there. But that kicks off early Sunday morning. So I know I'll be up. Yeah, I'll be up early to try and catch some of that stuff.
The first one is HTC, and they're at 4 Central European time, so that's 10 a.m. Eastern time and 7 a.m. Pacific. And then you got Samsung after that.
Tom and Christian will be covering a bunch of that stuff.
Yep. Well, it's on their time zone, so yeah.
The pond.
Yep.
So, but yeah, we'll be bringing that to you starting first thing Sunday morning, and then rolling right on through Wednesday? Thursday is the 5th?
Yeah,
so,
I leave Thursday morning, so through Wednesday.
Yep. Cool. Well, Alex, have a safe trip. We will, Nick and I will be recapping MWC 2015 next week, because you will be on a plane coming home.
Yep.
And, yeah, that'll do it for the Android Headline Show, episode 97, MWC preview. You can, as usual, find us on Twitter at Android Headline, on Google Plus and Facebook. Send us a message, email, drop us a line somewhere on your chosen social media platform. Let us know what you want us to talk about. Just a quick mention of this. In 2 weeks' time, so I think the 12th of March, we will be having Plantronics on the show to talk to us about some of the stuff they're doing coming out of Mobile World Congress and going into spring and summer 2015. So just a little heads up on that. You'll want to jump in and hang out with us for that one too. So.
Also, if you haven't already, make sure you follow us on Instagram, because I may or may not be sharing photos from World Congress on there.
Yes. Yep. And Android Headline without the S on Instagram, just like on Twitter. So.
We're on Snapchat too, but we haven't really figured out how to use it for the site yet.
Snapchat is the most fun. Dude, I love Snapchat.
It's kind of a tricky platform, though, for a website.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But cool. Nick, Alex, it's always fun. Thanks for hanging out, guys.
Yep.
Later.
See you next week.